is Mike Babb, and this is my YouTube channel, Living in the Illusion. Now, usually on our board, we have what our subject was for the last video, and we do a slide review. I want to break that a little bit and go back another video because I had a comment on that. I'll reference it up here. But this is the model that we use. And notice in this model, your lens of perception determines your world. Now, the point that I didn't raise or review is that everything in your lens of perception that determines your world is mental. It's all mental. Your belief system, your values, your prejudices, all kinds of stuff in there, they're all mental. They're all thoughts. They're all non-physical, in quotation marks, non-physical stuff. So your world is determined not by what's out here in the infinite field of everything, all that energy. It's determined by what you are doing inside, interior. Your interior landscape is determining what you think is your outside world. So that's the point I wanted to make on that video, and I think it was 2 times ago. So now we're going to go on with a slight review of what we talked about the last time. The truth about the mind, it's a quantum state. Well, I wasn't too sure what a quantum state was. I was fairly sure, so I had to look up a bunch of stuff. And basically, a quantum state or field holds all the knowable information about a particular system. And it is a mathematical construction, a mathematical entity or formula, which is possibilities, which determines where all of that information, the knowable information, is in quantum bits or qubits of information. And the quantum field, now we use this model. And the model says, first of all, you have this infinite field of everything, or the all, or consciousness. And within that one field, that one overlord field, is a field which holds quantum fields of minds. So all your mind and my mind and everybody's mind is an extension of consciousness. Now, consciousness is fundamental and it's infinite. And we'll use that in our next adventure. So within that, the body is in the egoic world and comes from the egoic world. The mind, which is a quantum state, is an extension of consciousness. And the mind-body connection is a combination of these two that are entangled into one system. And the mind-body system is always difficult to understand. Well, what is it? What does it do? How does it do it? This is a model of that. In this model, over there, the mind is the learner. This is the learner. And the body is the learning device that operates within the egoic world or the illusion, and that's the learning environment. So the mind, which is attached to consciousness, is learning about itself through this interaction. And since there's an entanglement here, whatever the mind whatever the body experiences, the mind experiences. And the mind experiences that in a quantum state. So the information is quantum information, which cannot be copied or what they call cloned into the egoic world. Into the egoic world, which has, for communication purposes, as symbols and words through which we communicate with each other. So we have to translate this quantum information, which is your experience. See, this is a device. The body is a device. It doesn't experience. The experience is in here, in the quantum field. That's where the experience is. That's where the memories are. That's where the meaning of the experience is. It's not in the body. So that's why in the other video, the lens of perception, it's all mind. It's all mind stuff. It's not physical. So your world, whether you recognize it or not, is being determined by the mind and not the egoic world or what's out here. This is just an environment for learning. And when you learn it, you change your mind, and like that, you change your world. So now, we will go on with our next adventure. Now, is our subject for today. And let me read it off my little paper here. It's amazing. It's amazing. There are no differences between anything. Oh, no differences between anything. So we know we're not talking about the egoic world, because in the egoic world, everything is separate. Nothing is the same. There's differences between everything. But here we're saying there's no differences. Now, what could that guy be talking about? Well, we have to set some ground rules. Here's the first one. Consciousness is fundamental and infinite. Infinity, now you got to understand a little bit about infinity, which is infinite. Infinity cannot be divided. It has no holes, no boundaries, no gaps. That's infinity. And that's what we're calling it. Okay? In the space around you right now is infinity. You are embedded in infinity. And what is infinity? Consciousness. So you are embedded in consciousness. Can you see it yet? Probably not. Why is that? Well, you're in an illusion. And nothing seems to be the way it is. So we have infinity. Now you can think about outer space. You can think about outer space as infinite. It may or may not be. But let's pretend that it is. So space, which may not exist, space is infinite. And therefore, if space is infinite, you're always in it. Are you aware of it? Now, this gets us into the idea of a fish. So when you think about a fish, and a fish is swimming in water, is the fish aware of the water? Well, probably not, because it's a fish. It got a little brain, it don't do a lot of stuff, but it's always inside water. If it's not inside water, it dies in that environment. So we are, in some degrees, like a fish. Actually, we all have a little fish brain, keeps us going. So we're not aware that we are embedded in consciousness, that we are embedded in the infinite field of everyone. So if everything, now, just a caveat, in your house, now you have a house. What is the most important thing about your house? Let me draw a little house. Someplace I got here. We'll do this. Here's a house. How about that? Just like that, I'm an artist. So we have this house. What is the important thing about the house? The most important thing about the house. If you don't have it, can't be a house. What's the most important thing? Well, you might say, well, foundation. You got to have good foundation. Roof. You got to keep the weather out. What is the most important thing about a house? The space inside. If it has no space, can't be a house, can't be a home, you can't dwell in it. So space is important. It's not important, you need it. So the most important thing about the house is the inner quality of the house. What is the most important thing about you? Your inner space, because that drives everything else. So that's something to keep in mind. I got that idea from Somebody's Not Wrong Anymore, from Wayne Dyer. And anyway, I thought it was kind of interesting. So I've used it in other group settings and other things that he came up with, probably forgotten by now. So everything is infinity. What did I say? Everything is infinity, because you can't divide it. See, there you are. And if you try to take you out of infinity, out of where you're embedded in, Where are you going to put it? So if you take you, say you have you, and we draw a little you. Here you are, and you are a happy dog. And now, if you take that out, underneath there, you would think that you would have a hole. There'd be a hole where you were in infinity. There's no hole. There's no hole in infinity. You can't take you out of infinity. It's like trying to take you out of the present moment. Can't do it. It's always the present moment. And you are always in infinity. So what is the difference between you and I? Now, in the egoic world, everything is separate. Everything is separate. So you say, well, you're bald-headed and you wear glasses, and I don't. So I'm different from you in the egoic world. At root, what am I? I'm infinite. Well, who are you? At root, you're infinite. Why? That's all there is. All there is consciousness. Consciousness is infinite. So you're infinite. You can't get away from being infinite except in your mind by sliding into the egoic world where you're separate and you believe you're separate and you have separate adventures and you tell the mind through the mind-body connection, and then consciousness becomes aware of itself. Now, this whiteboard, now it's infinite. And on this whiteboard, through many videos, I have put many models, many sayings, many topics on this. Not infinite, but I put them on this infinite surface. I can put anything on here. Why? It's infinite. You're infinite. I'm infinite. What's the difference between you being infinite and me being infinite? No difference. Well, what about your dog? Your dog is infinity. It's moving around, or your cat, or your plant, or your flower, or your chair, or anything that you can imagine. They are infinite at root. In the egoic world, they're all separate, and they have separate meanings, and they have separate definitions, and they have separate qualities, and they have separate things. It's an illusion. That's why the egoic world is an illusion. And that's where we live. And how do we create that illusionary world? Through our lens of perception. And what is our lens of perception? All mental things. So infinity is a mental concept. Using mathematics, using a lot of stuff in the egoic world. Consciousness is that infinity. It is the one mind out of which everything flows, including life. in the egoic world. Now, let's see what A Course in Miracles may have to say about this. Because we're talking about the one infinite mind of everything. And here's what the Course says. Therefore, what extends from the mind is still in it. And from that, it extends to know itself. It extends to know itself. So we are, through our mind, experience the egoic world so that consciousness can know itself. And in so doing, that mind, which is you, knows itself. Now, in the last video, we had, and I will make a little diagram of that. I think that's the bad one. I got to get the good one. We had the mind, body, connection. This mind that was attached to the infinite field of everything is infinite. Why? It's an extension of consciousness. Well, what's consciousness? Infinite. And since there's no holes in infinity, there's no boundaries in infinity, and there's no gaps, this mind in the mind body must be infinite. Can't separate it. Well, it is connected with the body. And through that, into the egoic world. Egoic world. Make believe that's a world. I'll do the best I can. Egoic world. It's infinite. So, in order for consciousness to recognize itself as this part, it has to deceive itself to make believe that this egoic world is not consciousness. And the body does that. And this whole egoic world, or illusion, supports consciousness in the play of Maya, of pretending that consciousness is not this. And we support them. We support consciousness in that because we have a whole world that is not consciousness. It's separate. It's an illusion. And when you begin to recognize that you are infinite, see, things equal to the same thing are equal to each other. Basic mathematics, algebra. So when you are infinite and recognize that, and I am infinite and recognize that, we're equal to the same thing. And therefore, we are equal to each other. Behind the illusion is only oneness. The only place where there's any difference is in the egoic world. Behind that, underneath that, the underpinnings of the egoic world and the illusion is oneness. And that's what we are. I wrote this down, and I think I'll put it up. Well, maybe I'll just read it. Since consciousness is all there is, and it's infinite, everything is, therefore, infinite. Why? Same thing. You can't divide infinity. There's no holes in it. So if you think you're, now a lot of times we think, wow, we are a soul. A soul is part of God. It's like God gives you a soul and it breathes in you and then you live. In other cultures, it would be called Atman or Buddha consciousness or all kinds of names. Soul. It can only be infinite. So what does that mean? Consciousness is fundamental and infinite. And since you say you have a part of that infinity that you might call your soul, you can't have part of infinity. You're either infinite or you don't exist. So if you are here, you're infinite. And if I am here, I am infinite. What's the difference between us? No difference. And there's no difference between you and me in consciousness. We're all the same, brother. Oh, how interesting is that? Now, I have a lot of information in the description. And if these are some of the things that you like to talk about, leave me a comment. Do like the channel and hit the subscribe button. And we'll have more fun next time we get together. Now, I have another video and I will mention it. I will reference it up there. And it is fascinating question. What are sandcastles made of? You might want to give that some thought. And so now, you're infinite. You don't know it because you hide it so well within the illusion. And when you begin to let the illusion dissolve, you will begin to know who you really are. And so until we see each other again, right here in the illusion, because I don't think you're going to leave it between the next time we get together, Be good to yourself. And we'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye now.